And I ooh. And I ooh. And I ooh.
Clap. Ew. What's good, everybody? We have some new shortness for your ass. We like to call these Freeish shorts or whatever the fuck we're gonna end up calling it. But this is that one nigga that you would like to think is Riley from the Boondocks, but you know, this is Ricky from the Who That Ricky.
And I am Pam's old strap that is collecting dust in the back of her closet, Chris. I'm sure she named it like Spike or like Christina or
Not
something.
Spike.
Well, you know.
Spike sound dangerous.
Buffy used to call it Mr. Pointy.
Well, speaking of things that like to point at every which way, we have the most recent episode of BET Presents The Encore. And in us trying to stick with this consistency, we are going to go through the entire episode scene by scene.
This is the part where Chris lied and said this episode was going to be under 10 minutes. It's clearly not.
Ooh. So, to begin the episode, we have a quick scene of a few of the girls in the kitchen. And as far as the overall vibe of this scene, we have Shamari, who is over the BS. Shamari is tired of this shit. They are trying to figure out, she is over it. They're trying to figure out how to come back from the big fight that we had last episode. For more information on that, check out our video with Nivea. And the scene pretty much ends with everybody just being kind of over it and the morale being kind of low. Then we cut to scene 2, which is the twins in the pool. So, we first find out that the twins feel a little really unappreciated. And you know I got my life during that part. So they basically feel as though they are working the hardest in the group, and there are other people, cough, cough, Misha, who, even though the talent is there, they don't feel like, that they're applying themselves the way that they need to apply themselves. And then, of course, cut to a confessional of Misha. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at an 8. So frickin' frack better not test me. It was like, ooh.
Misha like she can fight. She knows she smoked Newports.
Okay, because my auntie smoked Newports.
I know she can fight.
But the scene continues with the twins continuing to caress their bodies in the moonlight and going from talking about Misha to now talking about Aubrey. And they are over the fuck Aubrey. They do not feel like she needs to be queen. They feel like they are being played by her and they are tired of the BS. And they feel like she needs vocal training.
Speaking of Aubrey is upstairs at this very moment with Elijah Cake. I didn't want to call him Elijah Cakes, but Elijah Cakes, who walked up there to just check on Miss Aubrey, honey, after the argument. And Aubrey basically said pretty much what they've been saying this whole time. She feels like the twins don't like her vocals. And it's like, right. I don't know where that rift came between the twins and Aubrey. I guess I wasn't paying attention too much last week. But, like, it literally is like, it felt like they were all on the same side. Now, this episode, it's just like everybody's on a different page. And the page turned on Miss Elijah because, honey, Aubrey was like, yeah, the twins said you ain't shit as a producer. And Miss Elijah was like, oh, honey, I done did this, that, and no, wait. He was like, I've had a number 1. I don't know. I'm sure they had, but I've had a number 1, and I've had 5 singles in the top 5. So shout out to Elijah.
Child, he had to pull them receipts up out of. I was about to say something. But he had to pull the receipts up out of there.
And speaking of pulling things out, Irish came in and kept touching on Aubrey, so I know Pam was upset.
Ooh, now she was okay, bitch. How you? All right, so continuing on, we are now back in the kitchen because, this show has about 4 different filming locations, COVID protocol.
Okay.
So we are back in the kitchen, and Irish knows for a fact that Keely will walk around and spread things to different girls. So right now we see that Irish is over the bullshit. So if you can't tell, the theme of the episode is being over the bullshit at this point. Keely was talking about how Aubrey was so excited when she first heard she was coming in, and now she want to be all this and that and be all fake and shit. Aubrey had to come in on that shut the fuck up energy. It's like, ooh.
And it's like, girl, Keely, you are that girl we thought you were.
Child, she is giving very much that girl energy.
Yeah.
And Aubrey is giving very much, bitch, I'm gonna say what the fuck is on my mind, because she came up in that bitch and was like, you're a gossipy ass, messy ass, little messy bitch. You are over here causing division. Because that is Aubrey's favorite word. You are divisive, every form of the word.
She love a divisive comment. She hate it, but she use it.
But of course, through it all, I am Nivea once again, because girl.
Like, Nivea was in the next scene too, like giving me like, she had that damn sucker, and she was like, listen, I don't know what y'all going through, but Cena had came in there and also asked what the fuck was going on. Like, everybody seems so confused as to like what they're supposed to be doing, even though they know they're supposed to be making an album together. So Cena was like, basically had to come read them the rules of draft. Tell them that this week's maxi challenge is to like make an album, get along, and do this, and they seem confused still. So, oh yeah, the notes say that they were in a commercial in like a marketing class. It was very much given like RuPaul runs a challenge, and it's like your marketing teacher.
It was very much giving.
Right.
I'm taking notes. We are listening to her, Miss Sita.
Next year we're gonna have a Drag Race branding challenge where they gotta come up with a name. Watch, that's the whole challenge.
But I'm just trying to figure out if Sita is even real or not at this point, because she is giving Skynet realness. Okay. She is giving the robots are about to gain sentience and take over the fucking world.
Because we know how filming works. Like, it's a CGI, right? But like when it started reacting to Nivea, I was like, this is giving Coachella Tupac T. It's like...
It's giving Miss Minutes, and we gonna get you to watch Loki. You gonna understand that reference soon enough.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, so we move on, and the girls try to come up with a name, and Keely makes the biggest point of the 90s and late 90s and early 2000s that 3LW was a ridiculous name, but everybody stands because they had a hit, and that is absolutely true. Names are thrown around. Shamari says like devolve, and Nivea was like devolve into nothing. It was very funny, like exchange, but also like what we don't call ourselves.
So then we gonna move back to the twins, who now feel like they need to talk to Misha. They want to clear the air. They don't know if Misha's gonna talk to them though. You know, of course, cut to Misha, who is
not doing that.
Doubtful. But yeah, she's doubtful. She feels like the twins, in Misha's words, are always trying to do some shit. And, you know, even though they do end up apologizing to her, and it does come off as genuine in that moment, there's still that air of, you know, is it genuine or is it not? Is it genuine or is it genuine?
Speaking of genuine or genuine, they got in the studio finally, and had something that was cute. I don't know where Pam pulled that Karen Clark Sheard number out, but I was like, yes, for this gospel bop, okay? Pam, like, basically brought the group the song. Everybody kind of filtered in and loved it. Most everybody. And Pam was sitting there, like, having an emotional moment. Now, I want you to open your phone at this moment and go to Twitter. Because you have not seen this, because you didn't catch this in the episode. So there is a moment.
No, I was taking my Angela Yee notes.
She was saying, I'm going to post the notes in stories. Go to our stories to look at our notes. But like, there was a moment where Pam was having an emotional breakdown over the song, just having like an overjoyous moment. And Keely reaches out to touch her and like comfort her. But you know, Pam don't like girls no more. So Keely reached her hand back real quick. That's like the best moment of the season.
I know that energy because it gave me that one picture. And if I find this picture, we will post this as well. But that picture of the little white person that's like, y'all know that's the energy.
That is it. Oh my god. So that was like pretty much the funniest moment in that studio scene. Like shout out to that gospel bop, but when Keely snatched her hand back, I was gay. Also, Aubrey was pressed. Aubrey was like, I'm non-denominational. Aubrey was like, I'm non-denominational, girl. I don't really be fucking with this vibe. I want to dance. Like, so that was going on as well. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Bam. All right. So now we are back with another scene. Of course, we are with the choreographer now. And in this scene, we have Keely and Aubrey talking to the choreographer and AKA having their bridesmaids moment, trying to figure out who's going to be the maid of honor for this situation. AKA the one with the choreographer that looks like B. Simone, even though I know it is not B. Simone. So we got Aubrey over here showing presentations and shit, and we got Keely being mad about it. She was given when that person in your class does that good ass prezi that we talked about, and you over here trying to finish your PowerPoint in the middle of the class. Oh no, I'm just taking notes. Nah, bitch, you finish it.
That was me. Like, you little bitch, you had this all prepared and stuff while I'm trying to finish my shit.
Oh my god. So, Misha and pretty much everyone else walks in because, they want in on the tea too. And we have Keely with a confessional. Aubrey just wants to have control over everything. I don't understand how she does all of this. Now the girls have to figure out how the performance is going to go. And Shamari is like, well, shit, I want to do both songs.
Okay.
She feels like... Right, shout out for real, because Shamari can sing, Shamari look good, and Shamari can definitely be that bridge in between the two factions that we are currently seeing form. Right. So the next scene comes, and we are where they're now splitting up and going into their vocal sessions, because, splitting up into different groups makes more sense. And I was like, oh shit, Shamari, she's starting to be kind of over Aubrey. The theme of this episode is people being over each other. I don't know if shit started syncing up or what, because, they've been together for, a while at this point, so I don't know. But, beep! Shamari is now...
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I just needed a little break.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Cut that in editing, Abe. I needed my contact to adjust. This Times New Roman in the back is a little small. I need a teleprompter.
Tag team partner. I was like, I'm ready.
But to finish up with this scene, Shamari feels like she wants to change her vote from Aubrey because Aubrey is doing a little too much, and she's thinking that we need a new queen.
Well, speaking of Aubrey is brought up between Elijah Cakes and the twins when they finally get alone in the studio. And
you really gonna go with his name?
I'm gonna go with it. Okay. She basically was like, oh, not she. Well, she basically was trying to figure out why Elijah was being weird. And Elijah was like, oh, basically I heard that y'all two hoes was talking shit about me. And y'all was like, I don't have no credits when you know that I have this, that, and the third. And then twin one was like, now I would never say nothing bad about you. And so it obviously came out that Aubrey told him. And it was like instantly the twins looked at each other and was like, zing, zing. We gotta get that bitch. So speaking of...
It was like Buffy Jiff.
Right. Tink, tink. Speaking of getting that bitch went and got in the bed and left all of them alone after giving out all of these demands and all of this, getting the groups to separate all of this stuff. It was as soon as everybody started working for Aubrey's plan, Aubrey checked the fuck out. Aubrey was like, I don't know if I want to do this. This is stupid. Y'all in here making, Kurt Franklin music, and I'm trying to pop my pussy. So it was very bad. And then of course, the girl started noticing. It was very oh, where's Aubrey? And the twins every time, oh, where's Aubrey? I don't see Aubrey. So Miss Bear in the Big Blue House comes out in her red flannel and gets in the studio. And when I tell you Miss Elijah was doing the cattiest producing I've ever seen. Because yes, Aubrey was bitchy, but he made sure to make sure that bitch looked stupid on camera. Because it was girl, you can't come to no vocal session unready, unwet. Your voice is scratchy and dry.
And trying to cause divisiveness.
And say I don't have hits. Or like try to make it seem like they said I don't have hits. Like Miss Elijah really won the episode this week. Okay, Elijah Cakes definitely.
We might need to have him on the next Freeish podcast.
Yeah, and we say this in love. Like I believe that man is straight with kids or whatever. But like when I tell you when he got her together in that booth, I was standing. I was like, let me go play your little album or whatever. Cause I mean you can't do that.
I told you we got a couple bobs.
You can't be queen and sit here and talk about other people's skills and then you don't deliver in the booth. That's another thing. That's kind of what y'all talking about Misha for. Like, okay. But yeah, all of that happens and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it's like at this point the songs they are sounding cute so far. We got one, of course, sounding like some Kirk Franklin shit. You know, do we want a revolution? We got some other ones that are sounding a little more Dandy Kane. You know, do you want to be my secret lover?
How we say the same song? Okay.
But you know. Now we're starting to get to the shade because the shade is that since oh wait, hold on.
Vocal coach, that's what
Okay,
starts talking about skeletons.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna beep all that. We're gonna blade all that in the middle using my Final Cut. So this scene started taking me out when they started really kind of going in on Aubrey, and Shamari was kind of like, I mean, and then everybody was kind of like, ooh, Shamari, you sound kind of good on the track Skeletons, which we all know Aubrey has been championing Skeletons for the last 3 episodes. And now it's like, I don't know, Aubrey wasn't sounding so good on Skeletons. And the producer was kind of like, you know, she ain't, you know, and the vocal coach was like, I mean, we might need to take Aubrey off. And everybody's kind of looking like, well, the vocal coach said it, so.
What kept me out about that scene was, of all the people to speak up, it was Misha that was like, yeah, the timing is really a problem. And if Aubrey can't hit it, I don't want to be the one to take somebody off a song because I know how that feel. Misha, this ain't your moment. This ain't your moment.
No, not at all. And then, you know, at some point, they was like, you know, it must be a level of compromise. And we kind of left it at, you know, do we need to take Aubrey off the song?
So speaking of Aubrey, she took herself out of a party that she created later in the episode. She gonna come up in a day, talk about I've appointed Irish as an interim queen to attend the party tonight, and I have a stomach ache, and my uterus is falling out or whatever. So it was like very like when somebody call off work with a dumb excuse, you're like, okay, you could have just used a PTO day, girl.
But I got this other person to take my shift.
Right, I found Irish to take my shift at Walmart. Like it was very bad. So they get to the party, and Irish is basically fake queen. And this is where Keely Williams shines. This is where you know she threw the chicken at Natari. You know she broke up Cheetah Girls and tried to fight Ray. Everything that the girls have said about Keely is true in this scene alone. So they get to the point where everybody's bonding. Keely's playing the back, being cool, being nice, pouring people's drinks. Yes, you know, I love whoever they connected over. Oh, Luther. This ain't no Keely don't have friends too, because Idris Elba is who everybody else was like, yeah, we stand him. She's like, Luther, I like Luther. And everybody was kind of like, hey, girl, we don't watch that. We just meant him in general. And so like,
Girl, not obsessed.
Right, it gets to the point where it gets to the shady question. It feels like when RuPaul asked the girls who deserves to go home and why, because it was like, who in the group deserves to be replaced? Child, the twin two raised her hand and said Aubrey, and when I tell you Keely's, I rewind it, I paused it, and everything is right here next to us. Keely's eyes lit up, and it was like, who? Aubrey? Y'all like Aubrey? This. It had like all these reasons, and it was just egging people into not liking Aubrey. And it's one of those things that's like, yes, everybody had kind of felt it already, but in the confessionals, everybody was kind of low-key dragging Keely too. Like, well, we get that you don't like her, bitch. we mean...
They was dragging.
They was dragging. It's like every time Keely has a moment where she thinks this is supposed to be her moment, it's like them girls see through it. It's like you should have got a bunch of single, solo artists together and did this catty girl group shit. Cause like they see through it and they have their own trauma flashbacks and reactions to it. Cause Iris was like, I see this bitch and you look like I see what you're doing and you look messier than Aubrey would. It's like one of those things where it's like we all been through this with a girl group. So that was the key.
Yes. Yeah, so we pretty much just kept going with that. Aubrey was there on FaceTime. She was giving when what was she giving? Because this happens a lot. Because bitches be on FaceTime pressed. Aubrey was giving when your man is getting on your fucking nerves and you gotta hit up your homegirl on FaceTime to talk about that nigga, but you know that nigga's in the other room, so you gotta talk low because you in your bed and it's dark as shit. So you over here like, man, this nigga was fucking doing all this fucking shit. And then you hear a step start, so you like,
what happened?
But Aubrey is over here on FaceTime as all this shit is going down. The girls are over here trying to figure out a whole name for the entire group. Aubrey, where are you? I know Dawn helped figure out the name for Danity Kane, but bitch, you could have been somewhere for this one. So the girls end up, and of course, our Freeish fave, Nivea, ends up coming with the name Blueprint for the girls. And even though I'm sorry, but I thought of Miss Nicki Minaj. Pink Print. Other than that, I love the name Blueprint for... That wasn't her album. That was Jay-Z's album. So it's fine. It's fine.
It's cool.
The girls are now named Blueprint, and we have Blueprint ready to rock with at least one completed song. And, we about to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, child. That's pretty much where it ended. It looks like Aubrey is going to pull a Bad Girls Club next week and throw either her mattress or Keely mattress out. Honestly, at this point, I want y'all to throw hands or make an album. Either way, we'll be back next week to review EBT's The Encore. I'm Barbara Walters. This is Oprah Winfrey.
I'm Connie Chung.
I'm Connie Chung. Do you know Connie Chung is still married to Maury?
Unfortunately.